for some reason, I've become known as a bit of an expert on water treatment. I'm not. I think one of the things that you learn about brewing is you're always learning. And last year, the year before, I bought myself a brewmeister and suddenly realised that everything I knew about water was actually different.
Really the thing that started this all off was porter. I mean, when I first started drinking in the early 1970s, there was no commercially brewed porter in Britain. And it always sort of fascinated me, porter, this sort of mythical drink that had suddenly disappeared, that had been the commonest beer in Britain, and had suddenly gone from that to being completely extinct in about 50 years. And I wondered why this had happened, but also what the beers had tasted like. What was porter like? And I started buying books, looking through books, and it was incredibly contradictory what people said. One of the stories I always like telling people is everyone goes on about IPA and about how IPA was the thing that everyone drank in India, all the British. It's actually complete bollocks. IPA was only ever a small proportion of what was sent to India. In fact, the people who drank IPA, they were the posh people, and this is why it's been remembered. They were the people who were either the East India Company officials or the people who were the British Army officers. They drank IPA. The ordinary British soldiers all drank porter. And the reason they drank porter was there was this investigation in the 1850s by a British army doctor in India, and he looked at the mortality rates across the different units in India and noticed that the ones where they drank the local spirits, stuff like this arak and really dodgy stuff, that the mortality rate was way larger. Sorry, I'll just adjust this. That basically the places where they drank spirits, they were losing about 5% of the men a year. And the ones where they drank porter instead, the mortality rate was way lower. So they recommended that they just gave the soldiers porter in the canteen because it had stopped them dying like flies. And so you see this thing, so there's this huge market for porter in India, basically just because they want to stop the troops killing themselves with spirits. And so you look at the tenders that the East India Company put out, and generally the amount of porter they were asking for was about double the amount of pale ale. So in general it's about double porter to IPA, but it's been completely forgotten about.
You'll notice the World of Kit's got two seals with it. It doesn't actually need to have two seals, I don't think personally, but people used to buy them and then say, can you sell me a seal, because I need a seal on the inside and the outside. Actually you don't, but we just thought we'll start selling them with two seals, because that's what people wanted.
Endless, unspoken sorrow holds me locked in a room. I need your love.
Dedicate this to Kyle. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Nothing whatsoever is the same. lovely addiction. You and me on the beach. We look
I got soul, but I'm not a soldier. 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 I got soul, but I'm soldier, I got soul, I'm a soldier. So Sally can wait. She knows it's too late and she's walking on by. My soul's starting to wait, but don't look back in anger. Don't look back in anger. I heard her say